Hey fans of the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast, do you own an Android device? Well, if you do us a favor and go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. That's Podcast Republic app. I use this app, absolutely love it. Search all my podcasts, set them as favorites. They're one click away whenever I want to listen to them. Make sure to set Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast as a favorite so you don't miss any episodes or takes from the guys. Again, the app is called Podcast Republic app, available on your Android device. Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your co-host Pat Curran, and joining me as always are Brad the Dad and Josh the Boss. Today we'll be doing a live mock draft, collabing it, as we prepare for next week, which will give you more details later that in the show as we're doing another collab draft. Got a few fan questions we'll answer, because it's the little guys helping the little guys. And the question of the day from Rob, the tight end whisperer. But before that, let's check in with the guys before we get this show rolling. So Brad, how's your draft prep going with the ever-changing script that is the NFL preseason?
It's going awesome. And by awesome, I mean terrible, because everything changes every 5 minutes, it seems like. All that prep work we did before the preseason started pretty much went straight down the toilet really fast. A lot of it. Some of those late round sleepers are really sleeping on me.
Well, they're not sleeping, they're just coming up to the top because everyone's falling back to the bottom.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I feel like some of the cream is rising. Like
Yes.
Marquise Goodwin. People are starting to see that he's a big deal.
Oh, boy.
It's true. Okay.
He will be.
Yeah, you say whatever you want, but
No, I agree with that. I agree fully percent.
you just got to stay on top of the injuries. I think that's the hardest part about preseason is just if you're not paying attention to the injuries, you're going to fall behind.
Well, the good news is you don't have to pay attention to the injuries as a listener because you got three great minds here staying on track of it and letting you know who's getting injured, what you need to be watching out for, and what guys are going to step up.
Boom.
So before we get into reports and rumors, give a shout out and thanks to our awesome partner, Blue Spade Productions, for all the help they provide with social media marketing and listener interaction. Check them out on Twitter at Blue Spade Pro. Speaking of which, hope you're feeling better. Got a little bit of a sickness going on there, Blue Spade Pro, and Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast just wants you to feel better. And we love you. Get better. Keep giving us awesome music. All right, let's push this wagon forward with some reports and rumors around the league in preseason, giving us a lot to hit on. First, we'll talk about Charles Sims 3 down with a knee injury. Ronald Jones not looking very good in his preseason games. Opening up the backfield in Tampa for Peyton Barber. He's emerging as running back number 1 over there. What's your take on Peyton Barber over there, Josh?
Oh, well, I like Peyton Barber, but he's an Auburn alum. But let's be honest, he's not like the second coming of Adrian Peterson or anything like that. He's going to be their starter, and he's their best option right now. Charles Sims it looked like he got hurt bad. I don't know if he's going to be back, but there goes the third down work right there, and Rojo's really struggling. So, I mean, it might not be pretty, but you can get Peyton Barber late, and he's a starter. He's going to be the guy, at least for I would say 4 to 6 weeks. He's going to be the guy until Rojo starts to pick up this pass protection.
Any worries about Quiz Rogers over there?
No. He's no. God, no.
Not a fan of the jacuzzi over there, and that's fine. But on to what you just said, are you targeting number 1 running backs, or would you rather have a second string running back in a strong backfield, maybe time that splits like a Dalvin Cook or Latavius Murray?
Or like a Tevin Coleman, Devonta Freeman type situation.
Sure. Or Rex Burkhead and 5 other situation.
The Rex Burkhead situation is crazy. No. So as far as like the Latavius Murray thing, I would rather have Peyton Barber over Latavius Murray. I think it's situational though, right? So then you just break it down by player. Like, do you want Tevin Coleman or do you want Peyton Barber? Me personally, I still want Peyton Barber because I can get him later. Tevin Coleman's draft price is much higher, and you know that the workload that he's going to get isn't going to be huge. And a lot of that is predicated on how healthy Devonta Freeman is. Last year, Sark kind of looked lost in using both of those guys. They were okay, but yeah, Peyton Barber is the man for me. What about you, Brad?
I kind of agree with you there because, like you said, draft price on Tevin Coleman is way, way higher than Peyton Barber. But if Peyton Barber is a starting running back, we say it all the time on here, I want a starting running back on an NFL team. So
There's only 32 of them.
well, I guess.
No, there are. There's 32 teams.
It's no surprise Sarkisian looked lost. I mean, that doesn't surprise anyone. It shouldn't anyway. But more reports and rumors coming around the league, and this is the Minnesota backfield. Dalvin Cook splitting time with Latavius Murray. They said they want to do that, probably to preserve Dalvin Cook and not give him such a workload where he injures himself again. So we kind of just hit on that about now it's more of a two-tier backfield and not just Dalvin Cook, Dalvin Cook, Dalvin Cook. Does that affect his draft stock at all? Dalvin Cook's, that is.
Dalvin Cook's draft stock has always been affected in my mind. Like the price that he's going for is too high. We talked about the injury risk. I went back and just kind of verified the injury risk. He wasn't as injured as we kind of made it out to seem, or we made people believe. But the whole thing with Latavius Murray issue is Latavius Murray's looked good. He looked pretty good last year when he came on in relief for Dalvin Cook.
He was great for Oakland.
Yeah, I mean he's not a bad running back. The issue is like if he is going to be splitting carries to preserve Dalvin Cook's going way too high, and you're going to overpay. I like Latavius Murray. I target him on a lot of drafts late.
Go ahead, Sassy Brad.
No, I think this is what they wanted to do in Minnesota last year, but Latavius Murray came into camp hurt, and he wasn't there in the beginning of the season. I think they wanted to do a timeshare because they know Dalvin Cook's the future there, right? He's what they spent a first-round pick on. He's the future. Second-round pick. Josh corrected me over there. But he is the future out there, but like we've said, he has injury concerns, and holding up for a 16-game schedule for any college player is a big deal. Going from 12, possibly 12 games to 16 games is a big difference. So I think they do want a timeshare with him and just preserve his knees because Minnesota's looking for a Super Bowl. Let's be honest. They're looking for a Super Bowl. They're not looking for week 4 victories. They're looking for Super Bowl. Be that last team winning a game in the NFL.
Well, they couldn't get it done last year, but Brad being the pessimist over there, bringing us back to reality. We're going to stay in the backfield now. Hey, just calling it like I see it.
Dang, Brad.
Rashard Penny's finger is hurt, which is important for running backs.
Oh, it's
probably
broken.
wide receivers too, but he's going to be doing both running and catching. And then Saquon Barkley got that hamstring injury because you can't work out those. You can only build muscles.
Yeah. The Rashard Penny one, starting with that one, though, the biggest problem with this is that he's going to miss practice time. And they've already talked about how his pass protection is pretty bad.
Talking about practice.
We are talking about practice, and last time I checked, that's what they want you to do is practice. But Rashard Penny, with a broken finger, he can't work on the pass protection drills, which he was terrible at in college. He's been terrible at in camp. He's been terrible at since he's got to the NFL.
No.
So,
But he's a 3-down back.
He is a 3-down back.
what Pete
3
Carroll
downs on
said.
the bench.
Dang.
He didn't say he's on the field for 3 downs. Let's look at that quote a little closer.
So you're
Maybe he's playing
saying
defense.
he's going to play the position I played in high school, ass back. Coach, can I get in the game? Boy, get your ass back on the bench.
All right.
He saw the knee problems way before he did. What about Saquon, the hammy?
They weren't
concerned?
they weren't too worried about it, but that if it lingers throughout the rest of the preseason, then I'm going to still get worried. If we don't hear about it next week, I'll be fine. But as long as he's on the field practicing and playing in these preseason games, even a little bit.
Well, that's your can't talk. That's your villain. So
Oh, it is.
you're
Yeah.
probably happy to see that.
No, I'm never happy to see injuries. I want every player in fantasy to be healthy. That way we have a great fantasy season. I don't want people to lose because of injuries and have that excuse built in. I just want to blame them for having terrible draft and terrible waiver wire pickups. That's why I beat you. Yeah.
All right.
Staying in the backfield, this is just a running back downfall for the reports and rumors this week. Rex Burkhead, slight knee tear. Good thing is they have plenty of depth in New England, and James White got a lot of that work in their second preseason game where they beat Philly. Just want to put that one out there. Tom Brady looked amazing. Simply amazing.
Well, it's the preseason.
Well, it's Tom Brady. Anyway, Burkhead, slight knee tear. How's that affecting his draft stock there, Josh?
That sucks, man. I'm gonna be on like
Great take.
that's my instant reaction is like that sucks because I love Rex Burkhead. He did great things for my team last year. And a tear is never anything you want to hear about for a running back's knee. Like who's a guy who I was targeting late is like he's gonna be the guy who's gonna break through, and I love him. I loved his price. Now it's like I'm avoiding him. I'm almost afraid to take him, and I'm going to go for James White or Sony Michel. If Sony Michel can get healthy, I mean, a tear in the knee is never a good thing, ever.
It is not, and he battled injuries last year. But still halfway through preseason. Still got 2.5 weeks before game 1, week 1. So we'll see how it develops. Maybe it is just a small injury.
Yeah, because we trust New England to tell us the truth.
Yeah, they'll always tell you the truth.
No.
Bill Belichick never lies in his interviews. Go ahead.
No, okay.
He doesn't. He just doesn't say anything. So it's not lying.
He gives us nothing. A slight tear.
But that's not lying.
The ACL could be falling off, and he's like, well, it's a slight tear. He'll probably be ready for week one. No, that's not
what he says. He says, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
Which is true. Not lying. Not a doctor.
I hate it, and I can't trust Rex Burkhead anymore.
Run CMC, balling out. So is Carlos Hyde. So it's good to have some good running back news, but those are established running backs. Those are not rookie running backs. So they know how to take care of themselves. They know the grind of an NFL season. So they're just warming up those legs in preseason.
Christian McCaffrey broke off a huge run. He's looking good. Like I'm a big Christian McCaffrey believer now.
A lot of people are, especially in PPR formats. It's a great back to take. What about Carlos Hyde? People are a little bit on the fence with him. He's in Cleveland. Is he a really good PPR option? He's got Duke Johnson there. You got Nick Chubb there.
I think that's something we haven't talked about in a while, is that I haven't heard great things about Nick Chubb in practice or anything.
No.
From Cleveland.
I haven't heard great things about Nick Chubb, period.
Exactly. I haven't heard
out of Georgia. Go Dogs.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of Nick Chubb, good, bad, ugly, anything really. And I think no news might be worse than bad news.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Carlos Hyde, man, he's looking really good.
I mean, he's always been a good back. Last year was his first 16-game season he played, though. That's always been his knock.
But from where he's going, he's a guy that you got no beef taking a flyer on.
No, not at all. Especially if now we're talking about between him and Burkhead towards that time frame. So
yeah, I'm going after Hyde now.
We'll see how it goes in this mock coming up a little bit later.
I know. We're getting ready for it. The
board is
open.
We're going to take carry on.
We're going to be entering one soon, folks. All right, last backfield-related news. Zach Martin, hyperextended knee. Obviously, this is big news for your Dallas fans and Zeke. Zach Martin, amazing offensive lineman. What are you guys making about this? Is there enough depth in Dallas to not worry about this?
So that is one of Dallas's biggest strengths is their offensive line, right? It doesn't matter who they put at quarterback or running back the last couple of years. Their offensive line has been pretty solid. We saw last year, though, when the left tackle went down, Dak wasn't performing up to what Dak was doing earlier in the season. Now you're talking Zach Martin, a Pro Bowl. I mean, we can say the guy behind him is good too, but Zach Martin is considered the best at his position. If he misses time, I do worry a little bit about Zeke because he's already going to be facing 8-9 guys in the box with no wide receiver like to scare you out there on the outside. I mean, I still think Zeke is a number one pick, but you might have to temper expectations a little bit.
Yeah, we really need to pay attention to this situation. Because, I mean, it can't affect you in a positive way if the best player at your position goes down with an injury. Like, there's no way that anything good can come from that.
It's true. And thanks, Josh, for letting us know that we need to do our jobs as a fantasy football podcast.
Yeah, it's our job.
Yeah. Good take. Josh Gordon back on the practice field.
Whew.
Looking better than ever.
Whew. Love it.
Yep. Finally came down from that high.
Do you think they brought Dez in there just to bring him back to
100%.
Because Dez went there for a second interview, and then Josh Gordon came back, and now they're talking about not signing him.
Well, yeah, Josh Gordon's way better than Dez.
Oh, yeah, I get that. But do you think that that's what the whole thing was just to kind of...
If it was, that's one of the smartest things Cleveland's ever done.
Yeah.
I mean,
the smartest thing Cleveland did was jump in a bus and move up to Baltimore.
Oh. Well, that hurts.
Wow.
That hurts. Okay, well, I mean...
Well, we just lost all our Cleveland fans.
Well, that did sting, I'm sure. But there's only like 2 or 3 Cleveland fans anyway. The issue with that is like Josh Gordon is way better than Dez. I don't think that they brought Dez in for that, but I think that they were concerned enough about Josh Gordon's well-being to have Dez brought in and say, well, maybe this guy can go ahead and fill a need. But now that Gordon's back, they probably saw what kind of shape he was in mentally. They're like, okay, well, no need to go out there and throw this money away on Dez Bryant, who can't catch anyway. So we might as well go ahead and bring Gordon back in and have this stellar. They have an amazing looking offense.
They really do. They do. And Jarvis Landry's quote might not seem as far-fetched now, especially if you get Gordon back, full health, mentally all there, and buying into that program. It's going to be a fun offense to watch.
With a pass first offense coordinator. Let's not forget that.
I might actually watch a few Cleveland games this year.
I think they're an intriguing team to watch, and it's not just because Hard Knocks is making them an intriguing team to watch. I think they really are.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's looking good.
We'll get together and watch some Browns games, guys. Ugh.
Bring the whiskey. All right, and Philly's quarterback situation.
Ooh.
Obviously, Wentz still recovering, and Nick Foles went down. Not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Who are they going to go target if they need to go target someone, or you think they're just going to wait it out? Do you think they're going to bring Wentz back early? Maybe a little more earlier than they should.
I don't think they're going to they're not going to force Wentz to come back early because, like we said, they're defending Super Bowl champions. They want to get back to the Super Bowl. If you bring him in the first couple of weeks and he goes down, I mean, you saw with the Patriots a few years ago with Brady, missed first 4 weeks and they patched it together and made it happen, right? You just got to look into if Wentz is fully healthy. Because if Wentz is fully healthy, he's the starting quarterback there no matter if Nick Foles rode a unicorn into practice. It doesn't matter.
I would consider Nick Foles if that happened. Just saying.
You consider it, but you still be like, Carson Wentz is our guy.
I mean,
He's looking good in practice and in drills, Carson Wentz.
Unicorn.
Just saying, even with that brace on, he is looking very mobile, agile, throwing very accurately.
Yeah, with nobody rushing him, right? I'm remember this right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no one's rushing because he's running away.
Like Andy Luck.
He's not in the
shoulder was
frame.
great.
You don't know that. Warren Sapp could be there. You just might not be able to catch him.
Well, if it was a prostitute, Warren Sapp would be able to catch him.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, that's Philly's quarterback situation. We'll keep an eye on that for you. More updates to come probably next week as that situation develops. AJM, broken collarbone. Yeah, that's what I'm calling AJ McCarron now, AJM.
AJ McCryan.
AJ McCarron, broken collarbone.
AJ, nobody cares about.
Clears way for Josh Allen, or does it present a trade with JETS Jets? Because they got Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater looking good. And as what did Bill Parcells say about two quarterbacks?
You got two quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks.
Exactly. So maybe they need to get rid of one if both are looking good. Maybe they can get something from the Bills if they throw Teddy Bridgewater at them. If they want to win this year, I don't see Josh Allen being the answer. McCarron wasn't even the answer anyway.
They didn't want to win last year, though. Who makes you think they want to win this year?
That is true. They didn't want to win last year, and then they still ended up making the playoffs.
So they're just going to throw Josh Allen in there, kill his confidence, and say, oops.
He's actually looking pretty good right now. I understand this is a preseason, but Josh Allen doesn't look that bad. And he was drafted to be the guy. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater's on a 1-year deal. They could trade for him, but I don't think that they need to do that. For some reason, they believe in Nathan Peterman.
He could be the next Charlie Whitehurst.
He's a better quarterback. Yeah, I mean, he's a better quarterback than me, obviously. But
Charlie Whitehurst made a career in the NFL.
I would rather have Clipboard Jesus over Peterman.
Just because he's got a better nickname. I mean,
Exactly.
6-pick Peterman's not a great name.
No.
yeah,
Whitehurst might sell some jerseys if people get a hold of his nickname.
just because of that nice hair, dude. Oh, such nice
Clipboard Jesus. So no trade with the Jets.
No,
Just
I
gonna put it
the
Allen
biggest
in there. Or
the biggest
Peterman?
reason there's not going to be no trade with the Jets is that they're in the same division. You don't trade to your other division mates to help them win. I mean, I know that
If
whole
you can
division,
get something from the Bills. That's what I'm talking about here.
but even then, you got to think you're playing that team twice a year, and the Jets, if they're realistic, they probably have a good feeling that they're not going to win the division. They're playing for a wild card. You need those 2 W's against your division mates. You don't make trades like that in your division. You don't give them if you give him Teddy Bridgewater, and let's say he plays for the next 6 years for him, even if he's just subpar, and I'm not Pro Bowler, but just, borderline Pro Bowler, Andy Dalton-esque or something like that.
Tyrod Taylor.
Another Tyrod Taylor they got to deal with that. They don't want to deal with that. Because then every time they suit up, Teddy Bridgewater's going to be the revenge game, blah, blah, blah. And you get all those weird narratives that mean nothing. But I just don't see them trading with the Jets. Now, if you want to say if Nick Foles wasn't here, they tried to kick tires on Philly, that could be a better possibility. But
They said Nick Foles is going to be back by week 1.
It's just too bad for AJ McCarron. He finally had a starter job. It was his team, and then that happens. It's too bad. I was interested to see what he could do.
I don't
He's
think
an
it was his
awful
team.
quarterback, so.
They took Josh Allen in the first round. You don't take a quarterback in the first round to give it to somebody else.
And on that same narrative as AJ McCarron, Jimmy Garoppolo. Looking great for the 49ers. It's Jimmy show over there. Jimmy G. MVP watch. Not surprised. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's right.
He looked good.
Hero. Anyway, that wraps up for reports and rumors. A lot of reports and rumors. Thanks for listening to all that. Hopefully it helped with your draft prep, your fantasy football knowledge. As always, we will keep an eye on that as weeks come and those situations develop. We ready to enter into a draft room? And while we wait, maybe answer some fan questions?
Yeah, let's just do some questions.
Yeah. All right. Let's enter a draft room. Let's get ready for our mock draft. And while we're doing that, we're going to go to our next segment.
It's the little guys helping the little guys, 'cause the big guys don't have time for the little guys. Segment.
Oh, it's such a great intro to this segment. It's the little guys helping the little guys. That's right. Our first question today coming from Rome Van Lara. And here it is. If you don't get one of the top 4 tight ends by round 4, how long are you waiting? And do you need to go get a quarterback earlier, premier quarterback earlier? If you miss out on one of the top tight ends, this is in a PPR format.
So I'll take this while Josh gets us in the draft room, gets us all set up. If I don't get one of the top tight ends early, and he said the first 4 rounds, which I'm not looking at tight end in the first 4 rounds usually anyway, but let's say it's his strategy and you want to go tight end. I'm obviously waiting. I'm going to wait on tight end. I'm probably not going to reach on a quarterback, especially in PPR, because there's going to be so. If you think 4 tight ends will win the first 4 rounds, and maybe possibly 2 quarterbacks, 2 or 3 quarterbacks, now you're getting great value at the running back and wide receiver position. You're just filling up that depth on your team.
Let the other people in your league make those mistakes.
Yes. And now, how long am I going to wait on a tight end? I'm going to let the draft room kind of decide that for me.
Exactly. I think that's a great answer. I mean, let the draft room play out, see what you can get, because there's plenty of great tight ends in the 5, 6, 7, 8, those type tier tight ends.
Yeah, something we didn't talk about in rumors was that Adam Shaheen got carted off the field. Now Trey Burton is the only tight end there now.
Hear that? Trey Burton making the way for Trey Burton.
Trey Love. Trey Watch.
I mean, he's built like a wide receiver anyway.
Oh, boy.
He's over there in the middle of the field. They're going to love him. Don't worry about that, guys. He's the truth.
For our buddy Rome over there, there you go. Just another example, Trey Burton. You can get him later because no one's taking him in the first 4 rounds. And that's a great option at tight end. And yeah, don't reach on a quarterback. There's plenty of good quarterbacks out there. I mean, even these rookies are looking good. We're talking all this talk about the rookie running backs. But look at those rookie quarterbacks. They're putting up great numbers. If Baker Mayfield starts, that's an intriguing option. Sam Darnold's looking great. You got to keep an eye out for Josh Rosen in Arizona, and then, of course, Josh Allen in Buffalo. So plenty of quarterbacks to target, plenty of quarterbacks to take. So to answer your question, ultimately, I am waiting probably until round 6 or 7 is when I'm really looking at my tight end option, because now I'm going to have great options at wide receiver, running back. I've filled those spots, and then round 6 and 7, I'll start paying a little bit more attention to the tight end spot. Still waiting on quarterback.
Yeah, and if you want to go for a quarterback because you're worried, you want that positional difference because, a top quarterback you don't have to worry about as much. It's like a top tight end. You don't have to worry about streaming as much. You could probably wait till about, 5th, 6th round and get you a top quarterback. But everybody is nervous about quarterbacks. I get nervous about quarterbacks because last year, look at Aaron Rodgers, first quarterback taken, and then he got hurt. You wasted probably a 3rd or 2nd round pick on Aaron Rodgers, and then
could have filled it with a wide receiver, running back. Then.
A great wide receiver. You could have got Nuke Hopkins probably around then last year because he was going right into the 2nd, early 3rd.
Yeah, that's true. Next question is coming from Shaku Langstaff. Shaku asked, what do you think of the Houston backfield? Is it fantasy relevant? Well, we got Lamar Miller there, and I think that's pretty fantasy relevant.
He's fantasy relevant. Devonta Foreman is still on the pup. So as soon as Devonta Foreman comes back, I'm all over Devonta Foreman. I love him this year, next year, every year. He's the future there. Lamar Miller is Mr. RB2, right? He's never anything you want to start, but he's going to give you steady, Eddie, yucky, gross numbers. But they're RB2 numbers, and that's what you're going to get from your RB2. Especially with his draft value this year, which is really late. I'm not upset with that.
Yeah, I'm still paying attention to what's happening with Deontay Foreman, especially if he starts in the pup. The thing is like, you don't come back from an Achilles injury like that very easily. I mean, Achilles for a running back it's tough. So I think that, Lamar Miller is your guy. I really like him. That's the guy that I want on my team. He's not pretty, but I don't have to be the prom queen.
But to ultimately answer this question, is fantasy relevant?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Very fantasy relevant. Starting running backs on NFL teams are fantasy relevant.
Exactly. And final fan question. Rick Rhodes, your thoughts on Kerryon Johnson and Royce Freeman? Do they both start in your opinion? Now, is that starting on their teams? Now, obviously, we know the Denver situation. It's Freeman and Devonta Booker. And then Detroit situation is really crowded. So, Kerryon Johnson starting, I don't know about that one, but we'll let Josh take it.
I think we know what's going to happen in Detroit. I love me some Kerryon Johnson.
Okay, just because you love Kerryon Johnson, does that mean he's going to start in Detroit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. He's going to end up starting.
Over Riddick.
I mean, everybody hears this music in the background, right? I'm not playing this. It just comes on when Josh starts talking about Kerryon.
Yeah, of course he's going to start over Riddick.
There's actually a halo over Josh's head right now.
Oh, I love him so much. He's the next coming of Le'Veon Bell. He's going to be just that good. I believe in him. I love him.
Okay, I got to stop you there. Not next coming of Le'Veon Bell. For one, nobody thought Le'Veon Bell was going to be what Le'Veon Bell was.
Which is why it's perfect that Kerryon Johnson would be the next Le'Veon Bell.
Okay. What about Royce Freeman? Is he starting in Denver?
I think Royce Freeman will actually finish higher than Kerryon Johnson this year.
How mad are you right now?
I'm not mad about that.
He's a Denver Bronco fan.
I want him to do well. Yeah. And I think that there is more potential there for him to do well. I am worried about his draft price right now, but I think especially I wouldn't be surprised by week 3 if he's the guy in Denver. Devontae Booker is not the answer at running back.
No, Devontae Booker I think is going to be more of a third down type back than anything. Royce Freeman will be more of the bell cow workhorse, first 2 downs, possibly getting a lot of third down work, possibly getting some goal line work. But that's just what we're looking into, is that Royce Freeman is, I think, going to finish way higher than Kerryon Johnson this year just because of workload.
I would agree with that.
Okay. You had a nice pause. I thought you were going to hit me with some knowledge.
I wanted to, and I really did, but it's hard to go against that, especially with just that Denver backfield. I mean, there's no reason to disagree with that unless he gets hurt, which keep an eye on that because the rookie running backs are dropping like flies. Now we got our question of the day from Rob from the Dallas Buyers Club. If you have the number 5 pick, do you take Antonio Brown or do you reach for a guy like Alvin Kamara? I'm not reaching for Kamara. I'm not making that mistake. Not that that's a mistake. I just wouldn't. There's no reason to reach there for Alvin Kamara because you can get a decent running back in the second round.
Yeah. So what was the question again? Alvin Kamara or...
Why here? You listening to me?
Sort
Alvin
of.
Kamara or Antonio Brown at the number 5
Okay.
slot.
In the number
Rob's
5
asking.
hole. That's not even really reaching for Kamara, though. That's what throws me off about when you say reach, because the 5 hole, his ADP is 6, so you're not really reaching.
His ADP is 6?
Yeah.
I
Alvin
thought
Kamara.
that was Saquon's.
No, Saquon is right behind him at like 6.7, and Kamara is like 6.1. So I don't even think it's really much of a reach.
Are you taking AB or would you rather have Odell?
Well, where you're at, so you're saying pick
He's
5.
number 5.
Yeah, you're pick 5.
He's saying,
In
do
a
I
12
take AB or do I reach for a running back?
You take a running back. Because if you don't take a running back there, you're waiting around for the second round, and your picks are going to be maybe Devontae Freeman may still be on the board as your best running back.
What about McCaffrey?
He'll be gone.
10 teams or 12 teams?
12
Does
team.
not
It
matter.
was 12 team. It was 12 team. He's gone. McCaffrey's probably gone. Because these running backs are going like flies in every mock I've been in the first couple of rounds. You can almost get Odell in mid-second round in some of these drafts
It's insane.
because of how fast these running backs are going. And that's the problem I have with taking an AB, even an Odell or a Nuke Hopkins in the first half of the first round, is that now you're sitting there with a great wide receiver, let's get this straight, they are great wide receivers. But even Julio Jones and AJ Green are really, really good wide receivers that can make up the difference in points.
Yeah, the wide receiver depth in drafts, in fantasy football,
Especially in PPR.
is deeper than running back depth.
Especially in PPR. When you talk PPR, where every time they secure a ball, they get a point.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
That's
to
what makes
draft
Julian
that.
Edelman a fantasy option in PPR. In standard, you don't go near Julian Edelman.
Whatever. He's the best. He's not. I would agree with that. Don't go near Edelman in standard. Can't even be unbiased on that take. Anything to add over there to Rob's question there, Josh? Or we still? How's that draft room looking, actually?
Well, we're trying to do it with one of our listeners, and it's not going very well as far as that's going. We're going to get that worked out, though. Don't worry. Honestly, so the issue that I have with it is I love Antonio Brown, but I am concerned about him getting a little injured right now. But he is one of the best players in the NFL on one of the best offenses for fantasy production versus Alvin Kamara, who we saw how he was used later in the year last year. We don't know if he's going to get used the same way, especially when Mark Ingram comes back. I don't think you're going wrong by taking Antonio Brown. I don't think you're going wrong with taking Alvin Kamara either. There are other running backs that I like more than Alvin Kamara.
Hey, what's going on with Ben?
Yeah,
Ben
saying
Roethlisberger.
because when Big Ben misses games, we've seen AB's production fall off.
Right.
I mean,
What's going on with him? Isn't he injured right now?
He had a concussion.
Concussion. I
He
think
went
that's
concussion
right.
protocol. Was that what it was for Big Ben?
I don't know. He's always hurt. He'll play. He'll
got
get out
Mason
there.
there.
He'll Byron Leftwich that bad dad, where his offensive linemen just carry him out there to the next spot. And
I mean, everybody's seen Big Ben play. You see that every time he's hurt, it's, oh, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play next week. And then he comes out there and plays.
Yeah, 'cause
he
he don't-
hobbles out there, but then he'll run for 15 yards.
he doesn't want Mason Rudolph anywhere near that field.
He is very upset about that pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Hasn't gotten over it.
Ben will play. He does not want that rookie anywhere near the starting lineup. So he'll get out there. He'll make it happen. I'm not worried about it.
All right, that wraps up the question of the day and the Little Guys Helping Little Guys segment. Now we're going to get into our mock draft, which we're collabing here at the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. So it's going to be me, Josh, and Brad. Me, Josh, and Brad collabing this draft as we prepare for next week in the Battle of the Fantasy Football Podcast drafts.
Which we're going to win.
So this is a 10-team PPR format, which is actually great practice because next week is also a 10-team PPR format, snake draft, mock draft today. Next week will be real. It's real thing, real show.
We're bringing back that hashtag Empty Wagon title, baby.
Yes, we're making the Empty Wagon title. We are. We're going to take the belt. It's no contest. Anyway, we got a listener in here too, so that should be fun, and we're going to talk about his picks as he makes them. But pick one is on the clock. Team Jones. Team Jones takes
Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, there it is. Le'Veon Bell, first overall pick. Pick 2 went really quick, and that's going to be Todd Gurley. Pick 3 is up, and pick 3 is on the board. David Johnson going to pick 3. So pretty standard. Top 3 so far. And Zeke Elliott, if it stays standard, will be your pick 4.
Yeah.
We here, our collab is going to be a pick 10 in the first round. And then our listener, Rob, who also had the question of the day, fan question of the day, is at pick 7.
So do you guys want to start talking our pick out here now? Because we're at pick 10. We can kind of start looking ahead, trying to think about who we want to take here. Are we going to go running back, wide receiver? Chances are Kareem Hunt's going to be there. Odell, maybe Nuke.
I want to go running back.
Okay.
That's
Book
what
it.
I want. I mean,
Book
I
it
don't
in
have
running
the first,
backs?
I don't have either one of the first picks, but I
Zeke
do
did
wanna
go at number 4. AB went at number 5. That kind of relates back to our fan question. At number 5, are you taking Kamara or Barkley, or are you taking Brown? They went and they took Antonio Brown.
All right, so this draft is on ESPN, and this is the first time I've been on here, and they've had Saquon Barkley actually ranked ahead of Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, well, things are getting shaken up a little bit. Alvin Kamara actually fell because he was, I think, the 5th rated overall, and now he's 7th in their draft standing. So, my plan is to go running back. I don't really care that much for Saquon. I'd rather have Alvin over Saquon, but
Yeah,
that's just me.
I don't think either one are going to be there for our picks.
No, they will not.
You never know. Don't
You
ever
do-
say
you don't.
never.
You never say never. Yep, that's what Justin Bieber
Well,
taught me.
just to clarify, I think Patrick's going to get the first pick, and then he'll give us 2 options. We'll vote on it, and then we'll all
Saquon
rotate.
Kamara, 6-7.
Yep, back to back. It's Rob with Alvin Kamara there.
It's a good pick at 7.
Yeah, it's. I mean, for where you're at, you're taking a running back, and that's who I'd probably go with.
So, Josh, you want to do RB?
That's what I want to do, but like I said, I don't have either one of the first picks. We're doing this together as a team. So
This might be the fall
completely
of
up to
the
you
empty
guys.
wagon right here.
It's true.
No, we got this.
Wheels
The
are
wheels
coming
might
off.
come off.
No, the wheels are not falling off anything.
All right, we got pick 8 on the board. We could see our second wide receiver off the board.
If Julio goes above DeAndre or Odell,
That'd be a bad pick.
this isn't a real draft then. Okay, basically, like, Julio should not be a first-round pick in a 10-team league.
And there goes Julio.
Yep.
All right,
So
well,
somebody's just looking at ESPN rankings. They're not.
glad we
All
talked
right,
about
Braxton on the clock at number 9. He takes DeAndre Hopkins. Pick 10, empty wagon on the board. Who has it?
that. You have it.
You. Go ahead, Pat.
Oh, we do,
So
obviously.
what are our options, Pat?
Well-
we got 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Pick 10,
Yeah,
Yeah,
hurry
hurry.
up.
Kareem Hunt. That's what I'm feeling. How are you guys feeling about that?
I like Kareem Hunt there. I'd take him over
I like
Fournette.
Josh?
that. I like that.
Dalvin
Let's
Cook.
go with
I do
Kareem.
want to. Yes.
All right.
Take Kareem Hunt. Draft him.
Drafting Kareem Hunt at pick
All right.
10. Pick
So-
11 is also us. Here we go.
Odell's out there on the board. I really like Odell. I know we want to go running back, but the other running backs.
To go running back.
Yeah. But Dalvin Cook, I'm not feeling that. Leonard Fournette, I'm getting a lot of scary vibes out of Jacksonville with wanting to use him more of a running back by committee. There's still Melvin Gordon there.
I like Odell.
I think Odell. I mean, I think you get him at pick 11, Odell. You're getting a top flight wide receiver. Now, whatever, it's going to be a while to be pick again, but we have our 2 positions filled up.
We have solid running back 1, solid running back, or wide receiver 1. Yeah. We'll go with Odell.
I'm not worried about Odell's injury from last year. That doesn't scare me at all this year, the ankle. I think
With us picking so late, I like wide receiver depth way more than I like running back depth. And because it's going to be a long time before we get our turn again, I would have went with Melvin Gordon there. Which I don't know if you guys think is a bad pick or not. I love Melvin Gordon this year. I actually think he's going to have probably one of the best years he's ever had this year.
Yeah, no, I don't dislike that pick at all. So we went Hunt Beckham, running back, wide receiver. Next off the board was Dalvin Cook, which,
Hate it.
yeah, that's terrible.
he could be great, though.
He could be great, or he could be splitting the backfield or get injured again. After Cook, it went at pick 12. No, pick 13 was Keenan Allen. After Keenan Allen, pick 14 was Christian McCaffrey. And then following that up is Leonard Fournette. So now we're on to pick 16. On the board still is Melvin Gordon. It seems like
Oh, he's such a steal there.
it seems like the best pick.
Michael Thomas, too, if you're looking wide receiver right here. If one of these guys that took
We just talked about wide receiver. What would you do in this situation?
So, what I'm looking at is the guys that have drafted, right? So we're back to pick 16 right here. He's going to go running back. He took LaShawn McCoy.
Wow.
He's the one that went AB in the first round. So he needed a running back, right? It's not the running back I would have taken. I would have went
No.
Melvin Gordon.
It's not the running back anyone would take.
But
There
now
is
Melvin Gordon goes.
Is that Wilson?
No, that's not. That's one of the other teams that picked in the first 4 rounds. They got your top 4 running backs.
Wilson picked McCaffrey.
Yeah. Now, the teams that are up right now, they got your big 4 running backs, right? So Michael Thomas is sitting on the board right now, and he actually just went off the board to the 3rd pick, who I think took Zeke. So now he's got Zeke and Michael Thomas in a PPR format. He's set. I mean, that's
good team.
That's a very solid. I mean, I wouldn't be upset at all with that. I don't think Michael Thomas is going to fall to the end of the 2nd round. But that's what I'm telling you guys this year with running backs. People are taking running backs super fast, and they're going, and you're getting these top flight wide receivers towards the end of the 2nd round.
I think the fear with running back, though, is like it is shallow. I mean, it's deeper than it's ever been, but it's still a shallow pool. And people want them so bad. Like, you're almost forced into taking them early. All right, so A.J. Green just came off the board, and Devontae Freeman.
Yeah. And this person they took Devontae Adams and Devontae Freeman. That way they don't get their Devontaes mixed up.
They just grabbed them both,
Obviously.
just to be sure. Spelled different, but still means the same thing. Devontae Adams in the 3rd round. I know you guys don't like Devontae Adams, but Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback.
Would either one of you guys went Gronk there?
No.
You have Le'Veon Bell and you have Devontae Freeman.
No. Okay.
Adams. Even I'm not.
Ooh,
going
Derrick Henry off the board in the 3rd round.
We obviously have a believer there. Somebody's believing in Derrick Henry right there to take him that early. The same person who took Gurley.
Pick 22, you're taking Derrick Henry?
So they got Gurley, AJ Green, and Derrick Henry. And
So would you take Gronk over Derrick Henry?
yes.
Yes.
But I would also take Mike Evans over Derrick Henry. I would take Joe Mixon over
So
Derrick
Josh,
Henry.
you're going to be on the clock here in a minute.
I would take Kelsey over Henry.
Are you looking at running back again?
Yeah, Jordan Howard's my target.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you because I see Jordan Howard setting up there.
If he falls to me, I will be so excited to have
And he
Jordan
just
Howard.
went. You said it a little too early.
Oh my gosh, that is.
And there goes that plane.
There's a real bump. Well, Joe Mixon's still there.
I was just
Okay.
going to say.
I like Joe Mixon a lot.
McKinnon, that injury.
I
that
don't
little
like
scare?
McKinnon. I don't like McKinnon
That's
a lot.
good because he just left.
Yeah, that's good. See, this was my fear though, right? This is why I wanted to go running back, is because we're looking at our board now. All of your top tight ends are still there.
Evans and Gronk,
Gronk just went. Evans just went.
Kelsey's getting ready to go.
But you still have all these thick wide receivers: T.Y. Hilton, Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Demaryius Thomas, Allen Robinson. This is what I was worried about.
It is, but even if we get one of these wide receivers, our wide receivers will be amazing. Now we have two. We'll have two set it and forget it wide receivers.
This is my
There you
nightmare.
go. We got Mixon.
Well, we don't. There's one more team ahead of us.
Yeah, they could take Mixon.
If they take Mixon, I'm targeting maybe Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
So just an update. After Howard and McKinnon went, because we talked about them, we want them, then they immediately went. After that,
So-
it was Mike Evans,
And then
Gronk,
they just took Joe
T.Y.
Mixon
Hilton, Travis Kelce.
right in front of us.
And now we're on the clock, and Joe Mixon just left.
That
so
hurt
who we targeting?
real bad. Look at all these wide receivers we have to choose
Yep.
from. So there's Larry Fitz. and
So we
Stephon
taking a wide
Diggs.
out?
Yeah, we're taking Stephon Diggs, Larry Fitz, or Demaryius Thomas. What do you guys want? Vote.
You said Diggs is who you were targeting, right?
Diggs is the guy for me.
I'm fine with Diggs. If
I agree with Diggs, too.
okay.
all right.
I like Thielen, but I'm not mad about Diggs.
All right,
Now,
Pat,
Pat, you're up.
Pat, it's on you. I
What we
don't.
got for the running back game?
So we got Zach Ertz on the board still too. It's an option we have since we have two wide receivers already. We could take a tight end and have it. The running backs are terrible. The Kenyon Drake, Royce Freeman, Alex Collins. This is such a tier break. I wouldn't reach for any of these guys. In personal opinion.
So you can go Zach Ertz here.
The only person I would take out of that is Alex Collins. I'm not taking him that early. We do have Amari.
We could take another wide receiver and put it in our flex spot.
If there's
We got 10 seconds, guys. I need a pick.
Make the call, Pat.
You got to hurry.
You're on the clock.
We got 5 seconds.
Zach
Six.
Ertz.
Zach Ertz has got drafted.
That's
Okay.
a great call.
So Zach Ertz. So now we have
Between him and Hill, that's what
This is a good example. Like whenever you go wide receiver early, you kind of pigeonhole yourself into this. The second tier of wide receivers is huge.
Yes.
Compared to your second tier of running backs or your third tier of running backs, excuse me.
Could have had Tyreek Hill and Diggs, Thomas. Yeah,
I mean, we had a lot of great options here. I love Doug Baldwin in this spot, actually.
but that's how the board played out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a draft strategy I like to do is take a stud running back and then fill your other slots and then get some other especially in PPR. We can fill these running back roles with serviceable running backs later.
Alex Collins is probably going to be on the board still.
If
He
That's
might
what
be.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, because a lot of the running backs are gone. So you got to think a lot of these people are going to start filling their wide receivers and other spot depths. We're going to see quarterbacks probably start popping before we draft again too.
And hopefully your draft room is full of the rookie running back believers from last year.
So we have, right after our pick, Larry Fitzgerald went, Adam Thielen, Allen Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Kenyon Drake, and Amari Cooper. So we're getting a huge wide receiver run. And that's pretty much when you look at your top available is wide receivers right now. And a lot of people use these top availables.
Just so the listeners know, we're going to try and stay here as long as we can. We probably got 15 minutes more. We don't want to run this episode too long. So we're probably going to do this for another 15 minutes or so and then wrap up, which will probably take us to,
Around 7 or 8-ish maybe, hopefully.
hopefully,
As long as these people don't take their whole time like we just did.
yeah.
They might be talking it through just like we are, though.
But hopefully we can take it through and get you to the late rounds where now you're just filling up your boards and hopefully listen to the last episode and can maybe fill up your team with some of those sleepers we picked up.
Royce Freeman just went in the 4th round.
That's what I'm talking about, those rookie running back believers out there.
But you have Demaryius, Doug Baldwin, Golden Tate, Jarvis Landry. You have great wide receivers up there still.
I mean, we could look at the roster that person has. I mean, I'm betting they might already have wide receivers, and they were kind of in a boat we were. So if we look at their team, pull it
What
up right
happened?
now.
Yeah, what's pick history after ours?
We'll look at this team that took Royce
we
Freeman
did.
already.
Ertz.
They have David Johnson, Jordan Howard, Michael Thomas, and then Royce. They had a solid team until they picked Royce Freeman.
They do, and maybe they like the wide receivers later too, and they're thinking they can get a Julian Edelman or something later and fill that roster up, and they have to kind of a flyer on Royce Freeman because he wasn't going to be there when they picked again. Probably is what they were thinking.
But we just had
How's
both
Rob
of the
doing over there? How's
both-
his team looking?
both of the Cleveland guys just went back to back. Gordon and Landry.
In PPR, I like Landry better than Gordon. That's just personal preference, though.
So Rob has Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, T.Y. Hilton, and Allen Robinson. I like his team a
running
lot.
back or wide receiver help.
Yeah, but actually, T.Y. Hilton's going to be a sleeper when Andrew Luck comes back. He's going to
Maybe.
be a top 10 wide receiver.
All right, so we got I think we're up in about 8 picks, so we need to start probably talking about our pick. I'm on the board here. We're obviously staying away from probably wide receiver if we can, right? So we're looking at running backs. We're looking at Alex Collins, Ronald Jones, who I think we can all say no to that.
Yes.
From what he was looked in preseason. Marshawn Lynch is there.
What about Lamar Miller? We talked about him earlier.
Lamar Miller, right? I mean, do we really want Lamar Miller, though? Would you rather have Alex Collins or Lamar Miller?
I'd rather have Alex Collins.
Exactly. Hands down,
But-
right? That's the running back we want. Aaron Rodgers just went off the board, too. So
We
first
have
quarterback.
6 picks, though,
6 picks till we
ahead
go.
of us.
So would you rather have Deion Lewis or
Alex Collins?
Lamar Miller?
Lamar
Before
Miller.
you answer that, are we doing back-to-back running backs? Or are we doing running back wide receiver again?
It depends on who's there. I mean,
Let's
right now
look.
there's still some really nice wide receivers on the board.
And we can still fill up because we need some wide receiver depth there. We could also take flyers on because we have great wide receivers. We could take a flyer on a Doug Baldwin if he comes back healthy. He could be a great guy off our bench.
Yeah, to have Doug Baldwin as your 3rd or 4th option, I'm not
But
hating
that's
that.
not gonna. That's no way it's gonna be there in 6 picks.
He might be. He's got that questionable
You
tag
can't
next
have
to him.
no in your heart. first of
Brandon
all.
Cooks is there.
What can you do over there, Josh? You can want.
There went
hand
Doug
and-
Baldwin.
You can want one hand and grab
Josh,
the
as soon as you say a name, the player gets drafted. Literally, Doug Baldwin. As soon as he can't name kind
Yeah,
of
Josh is just gonna have to turn his mic off.
I think that's because people know that I have a great fantasy football mind.
Or you're just really loud. All right, there went Golden Tate and Demaryius Thomas.
You're a Brandon Cooks believer,
I am a Brandon Cooks believer, but it's my pick, and we need a running back. We don't need a wide receiver.
but if he's there for the second,
For the second pick, that's going to be on Josh.
back-to-back.
We'll see. We can go ahead and we'll drop Alex Collins in our queue there because I think that's the guy we all kind of decide on we want if he's there. He'll be the starter week 1. I don't know if he'll be the starter at the end of the year, but we can worry about that in our waiver wire we play.
Oh, well, I don't have to worry about that because if I have the next pick, which I do, if
After
you
that-
grab Alex Collins, I'm going Lamar Miller.
Okay.
and there goes
Aaron-
Collins.
Alex
Son of
Collins
a
went.
Gun.
But now I know you're going Lamar Miller. I can maybe play around with this a little bit, right?
Well, I mean, you don't have to.
but I could.
You could take Lamar Miller, and then I could be screwed into making a poor decision.
Yeah. Or I can make a great decision for us because we are on the pick here in a couple picks.
1 pick
1 pick. Ronald Jones went. Woo.
Ooh,
makes it easy.
gross. All right, guys. Well, it's up to you, Brad,
So if you're going to go Lamar Miller,
which is still there, and I love that.
yeah.
Mark
Do we want
Ingram's
to take
there, too.
Brady? Do we go quarterback? We always talk about not going quarterback early. Do
I
we do
don't.
it?
I don't want to go quarterback.
I'm going to
this
take Brandon Cooks, right?
early. Okay.
He'll be our last wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So Brandon Cooks, and then like I said, the choices for running backs right now: Marshawn, which is gross, Deion Lewis, Lamar Miller, and Mark Ingram. So
We need a starting running back week 1. We can't.
exactly, and that is Lamar Miller. We talked about Lamar Miller before. It's not pretty. You don't have to like it, but you have to respect. He's your RB2. He's our RB2, and he's going to give us RB2 numbers.
And when you line up our roster now, you look Kareem Hunt. Lamar Miller doesn't look good. But then you got Odell, Stephon Diggs, Zach Ertz, and Brandon Cooks. Our skill positions are locked in here.
I feel good about it.
Yeah. I mean, do we all want to start 3 wide receivers? No, but it's PPR. I mean,
Whenever we're coming back around, I tell you, I'm going to start targeting these guys that I really, really like Marquise Goodwin.
don't say the one guy's name. Okay, we'll just
Yeah, mute. Can we mute Josh over there,
we'll
please?
just for
Chris
the
Carson
for the
will be
viewers
out
out there to
there.
know where Josh wants to go probably next is something around these lines.
Oh, carry on.
Don't say the name.
Now it's over.
Love him so. He's so far down this board, I don't think people will look that far. Unless it's Rob. Rob might do that to us. He took Marvin Jones with his pick.
The thing I also like about our team and our roster right now is that aside from Odell, there's not a lot of injury history on that roster.
Stephon Diggs kind of had a little bit last year. He was in and out.
But
Zach
I'm
Ertz
talking,
has
like,
it too. But
Prolonged, like he's missed for a season.
Greg.
And Odell, we know, is back and strong.
all right, so we got after our pick of Lamar Miller went Robert Woods.
Gross.
Right, Robert Woods that early. I mean, we talked about you guys liking Robert Woods
I do.
over Brandon Cooks, but not that early.
Not
right?
that early.
That's why you guys like him is because you can get him rounds earlier or later.
Yeah, way later.
Uh,
We got Marshawn.
Duke Johnson, Alshon. Then Mark Ingram went. Then Tom Brady went. Greg Olson, Evan Ingram, who I think is not going to have the year they had last year. Delaney Walker, and then Deion Lewis.
So the tight end run started a little bit there.
A little bit of a tight end run. I mean, you're going to talk about a tier break.
And that's the end of the 6th round where that tight end run is taking place. Now we're in the 7th round. The first pick of the 7th round was Deion Lewis.
And that's probably about where you're going to see your tight end run because people, a lot of players when they draft, they're going to just fill roster slots, right? And you see that you need a tight end still, so you're going to fill that tight end slot. Like, okay, I need a tight end now.
You're happy with any of those three. If you're filling your tight end spot.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde. It's a good pick.
Oh, that was the guy I wanted.
Was it? Or
Yeah.
maybe another. So we're coming up here in 7 picks, right?
It's a good pick, Carlos Hyde.
That is a great pick, man.
Pat, you're going to be on the board here. Do you think we need to fill out some running back depth here?
What do you want? You want to go for a QB?
Do you want to, start filling out quarterback? I think it's still a little
there
early.
are so many quarterbacks on the board that no.
Thank you. I'm so glad we all agree on that.
Okay. So, but what are you looking at here? Are you looking
Running
at
back depth.
Running
absolutely.
back. So
we got 3 premier.
The Crow's out there
Primo
still.
wide receiver.
yeah. So
Our tight end is a lock.
We got the Crow still out there. Sexy Rexy.
Tevin Coleman, Chris Carson. I mean, we haven't talked about that, but
He
with
is probably.
Rashad Penny not in there, he's going to be the lead back there.
What about Carry On?
If you guys don't take carry on with your picks, we're no longer. Because this is where we're going to have to take him.
And you're not on the board here, so I didn't.
I got no
I'm
control
surprised you
over
didn't go
this.
carry on last time because you didn't have a pick coming.
Because we needed a solid starter. We needed that.
Oh, we're on the clock.
We are on the clock.
Okay,
guys,
It's
well,
either
do your best.
Carson. What do you guys think of Thompson with the situation in Washington now that Geis is gone?
He can't handle
So
the full
Chris
workload.
Thompson's going to be what Chris Thompson is, no matter who's there. He was super efficient last year, and I don't see him repeating that. Last year was his best available.
This would have been a great spot for Rex Burkhead without
So-
that tear.
But we can't do it with the tear.
For me, if I'm just drafting my own team right now, I'm going Chris Carson, and probably Carry On Johnson.
How much are they going to run the ball in Seattle?
A lot.
defense-
They did a lot last year.
They
with
have
him.
to. They don't have
They don't have
to.
Jimmy Graham to run the
They're
ball.
going to have to throw the ball.
You got 10 seconds.
I'm drafting Chris Carson because I know I have that pick in my back pocket.
And now I'm going to go Carry On Johnson.
Yes.
Boo.
Yes.
I'm doing it for Josh. And the only reason I'm doing it, I did it quick too, so we can move and try to get a little deep in this draft. Here's why we're doing it. So we have Chris Carson. We know who's starting the beginning of the year probably as a starter because Rashad Penny's missed time, right?
Oh.
And we have Lamar Miller and Kareem Hunt. We have Carry On who can we don't have to start in week 1. We can wait through the season and see how he progresses to see if he becomes that lead back or not. If he doesn't, we didn't waste anything. We don't have to plug him into our lineup. We don't even have to worry about him being a bye week fill-in.
Oh, this was such a good decision, though.
No, it is a good decision.
You can have my next pick. I don't even care. This is what I wanted.
But now we're in we're going to jump into round 9, right?
Yes.
So this is
about to be round 9.
So we'll do our round 9, round 10 picks and probably be the last of the show. Do you guys want to start looking at quarterback here? Or do you want to go maybe another wide receiver? Jacksonville defense?
No, we're not taking a defense.
No, I'm a fan of the wide
Stephen
receiver
Gostkowski?
quarterback.
After carry on, it went Chris Thompson, Emmanuel Sanders, Robbie Anderson, Cam Newton, Tevin Coleman. Rex Burkhead finally went. Rashad Penny, D. Watt, Carson Wentz, and Randy Cobb.
I'm not taking a quarterback if all those top-tier quarterbacks are gone. I'm just going to keep waiting.
So let's look at the quarterbacks because I feel like there's going to be a little bit of quarterback run.
Russell
Wilson is still there. He won't be there when we come back up. We're 8 picks
That's
away.
8 picks away.
You know, I really like Kirk Cousins. Like, I love the way he's playing right now in Minnesota.
And we have
Your
Stephon
pick.
Diggs, so we could tie
stack
that
'em.
together.
We stack them.
We stack them.
They're best friends.
Hey, look at those San Francisco wide. We got a San Francisco believer in there. 2, actually, because Marquise Goodwin and Pierre Garçon just went off the board.
Those are great picks. I love Marquise Goodwin this year.
And that's a 9th round pick.
So that's going to be such a steal for a guy who's going to finish in the top 24. I really believe that.
That just speaks more volume to the running back in the round 1 and 2.
Absolutely. I mean, but you can't be mad with the fact with the running backs that we have: Kareem Hunt,
No,
Lamar Miller, Chris Carson, and Kerryon Johnson. We got Odell Beckham, Stephon Diggs, and Brandon Cooks as our receivers.
No, I'm happy with our team. I'm happy with our decision. But if you wanted to do running back, you got a guy like Marquise Goodwin sitting in the 9th round that can round out that wide receiver depth.
Yeah. So we have Tariq Cohen still on the board too. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on maybe taking Tariq Cohen there.
Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck, and Jordan Reed just went.
Yeah.
So
now I'm not drafting quarterback.
you're not drafting quarterback.
Is
now.
that
personally, no.
Is that a tier break for you? So like we probably have to take one here. If we don't take one here, we're probably not even taking quarterback till even later because there's going to be a little bit of a quarterback.
And the
run
issue is that out of the people we have left, Tariq Cohen, Sterling Shepard, I do like Sony Michel. I'm a little worried about that injury. But even Julian Edelman. To have Julian Edelman, we can sit there and wait on him.
Yeah, we can go Julian Edelman and a quarterback here and be good. Or Marlon Mack's on the board.
My pick is Julian Edelman.
Okay.
All right, so Pat, what do you want to do?
Do you want to fill our quarterback need? I mean, because we don't really have a need anywhere else. Unless you wanted to go get a backup tight end.
What are the wide receivers out there?
We got
Yeah.
Jordy.
Oh, yeah.
Jordy this early. We could wait 4 more rounds to get Jordy.
Fine, go to quarterback.
But
We got 20 seconds. For me, it's Kirk Cousins, Drew Brees. I mean, we're thick at quarterback, guys.
Yeah, we could even wait another round and probably
You could go get
Phillip
Jimmy
Rivers.
G.
I know.
Probably.
That's what, me personally, I would wait for Jimmy.
Okay, so let's wait. Take your pick then.
So you want
10 seconds.
You want your boy Jordy.
Yep.
Take it.
Okay, I completely disagree.
All right, so we took Jordy
What was the
Nelson
running backs on the board?
way too early.
There were the running
Tariq
backs.
Cohen, Sony Michel, Marlon Mack, Ty Montgomery.
I would have took Cohen before I would have took Jordy.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah, it is. But
You've already
you're
picked.
handling the keyboard over there, doing a terrible job. Not let me know.
I wouldn't.
But
But
all right,
Julian
so-
Edelman. I thought we were going receiver, running, or quarterback, but
All right, we're going to have to wrap this draft up because we're
That's all
running
right.
out
We
about
got to
an
round
hour.
10. How's our team look?
so this is our team. We have Kareem Hunt, Lamar Miller, Odell Beckham Jr., Stephon Diggs, Zach Ertz, Brandon Cooks. On our bench, we have Chris Carson, Kerryon Johnson, Julian Edelman, and Jordy Nelson.
And just to give everybody a little spoiler alert, our next pick will be Steven Gostkowski
It's not true.
Not even a little bit.
because I'm up. And we're not going to be on the air, so we can't prove it didn't do it.
That's
No, but I
100%
think
true.
we proved that we do wait on quarterbacks. But like we've been saying, this entire season of prep for your fantasy football draft is read the board. You know, we were ready to pick quarterback there, and then Wilson and Andrew Luck went off the board. Now that changes your opinion. Yeah, you probably could have got Drew Brees or Kirk Cousins and been happy with that. But you got Jordy Nelson, who's going to have a breakout year. Breakouts.
Well, okay.
And we don't have to start Jordy. That's another thing. Is we have such good wide receiver depth that Jordy's going to ride the bench probably most of the weeks.
Yeah,
It's a risk that's going to pay off.
we won't even be able to start Jordy.
We could probably trade him if he has one good week.
He probably will have at least one.
Oakland believer over here. All right, thanks for listening, everyone, and joining us again for another edition of the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. Join us next week for another draft episode. But this, the battle of the podcast, as we will be competing against 9 other podcasts for fantasy football supremacy. Empty Wagon title coming soon to a theater near you. If you want to hit us up during the week, find us on Twitter at Tack Jones for Brad, at FF Josh Hughes for Josh, and at HattrickPat37 for myself. Follow the show at Empty Wagon FF for all your news and updates. Have a great week, everyone, and stay tuned for more fantasy football advice. Hat Trick out.
Later.
Bye, guys.